joining us today on our webinar. I hope everyone is doing well. We are going to do these webinars just slightly different. We had a lot of people give us feedback for our newer version of our software and tell us that you guys don't have time to train your staff or you don't have time to figure out how to use the new UI. So we thought we would go ahead and do this series from the perspective of your employee. So this way, you'll have access to this. Is all going to be recorded, which actually, now that I see that, recording is happening. So all of this is going to be recorded. You'll have access to it, for as long as you're with EZFacility here. You can use this as a training option to provide to any new staff members that you bring on. So that way we can help you train. As I said, that's kind of our goal. Today, we're going to focus on memberships. So we'll be able to let you know how to create a client, how to sell a membership, how to cancel a membership, all those type actions that your employees will have access to. We do have a Q&A feature here on this webinar, so as you have questions, please do feel free to put them in that Q&A section, and we have a couple of people on the call here that'll be able to answer them in that Q&A. If it is something that I'm able to answer live, I will make sure to cover it live. We also do have a chat option where if you prefer to put your questions or statements in the chat, that is also an option as well. As always, I'm going to go ahead and put on the account manager's information here. So if you are looking to upgrade from the classic version of our software to the new UI version of our software, you can reach out to our account management team. For our US clients, that'll be am@ezfacility.com. For our UK clients, that'll be ljones@ezfacility.co.uk. So you can contact them at any point with any questions. Our support team is also available to help you with any of your questions that might be more on a personal level for your facility. Their email address is going to be support@ezfacility.com. All right, so as kind of an introduction to our staff role. So the people who have what is called the staff role, and I'll show you where you can find that, would be in the roles is where you're listed as your staff member. So if we go to location, oh, I am already in our staff member, so I can't show you yet where those users and roles live, but we'll switch over to a different user account here in a little bit, and I'll show you where those do live. But if you are listed as a staff member, the permissions that you have, you would be able to sell that membership. You'll be able to create a client's profile. You would be able to use the time clock, the check-in stations. Kind of further down the road, we'll get into packages on our next webinar. You would be able to mark someone on the calendar in attendance, different things like that. Where you are going to be limited is you are not going to be able to run any billing or training type reports, and you will not be able to refund, reverse, or void any kind of a payment or any items. So those are the general permissions as they currently are predefined and pre-set up into the system here. Now those roles are going to be customizable, that if your particular staff members need to have more or less access, you could always customize those roles under a manager role. All right, so let's go ahead and start in the software here. So today we're logged in under Nicole Smith's profile here in my account. She is listed under that staff role. You'll notice if you are a manager that you have less items in here. So if I just clicked on administration, you'll see you only have packages, documents. There's a little bit of billing, and there is the location settings. So there's not much that you can do to change any kind of templates or anything like that. Let's say you're a receptionist, you have somebody walk in the door, or you're a front staff, front end worker there. They walk in the door and they say, I want to purchase a membership. What do? You first go ahead to clients. You're going to add in a new client up here on the right hand side. Now, your facility would have already set up what information is going to be required to create a client's profile on this side of the site. In my demo account, I just have it set as the default, which is going to be first and last name. So we also see gender is also turned on. Anything that's a star is going to be a required field. So we'll put in a person's first and last name. Date of birth is up here on the right-hand side. It's not required in my profile, so I am not going to add that in. You could fill out their address, which most people would probably make this required. When you are typing in this person's email address, you'll have it typed in, and then you will want to make sure that you go ahead and you click on the plus sign. This way, it adds that email address directly into that profile. If you don't click that plus sign and you just continue down to the bottom and add that client in, it is not going to save that email address in there, and you are going to have to type it in again. So just a little note there, you want to make sure you click that plus sign. Going down to the bottom, you do have the option of adding any phone numbers. This here is considered a custom field. I was working with a client that has a lot of people with silver sneakers. It's a program, and you can have your clients fill in their silver sneakers number. So custom fields are also an option here as well. There's some additional information down here where if you wanted to say, where were they referred from, there's t-shirt size. If they have a specific trainer that they work with, you can put in a trainer's name in here, and we can go ahead and add in this client. Now, in order to open up a client profile, you can click on either the first or last name. It does not matter which one you click on, either one will open up the profile. I do want to make sure, again, for anyone that has hopped on past when I kind of said this earlier, if you would like to ask any questions, we do have a Q&A section in here, and we do have a chat available as well. So if you guys want to put any notes and comments in there, please do feel free, and we will address them as we move along. So here we are in our client's profile. I am going to go ahead and click on here we see there's no membership sold yet. We're going to go ahead and just sell this membership. Looks like we do have a comment about you're trying to get set up with silver sneakers. Um, So Silver Sneakers isn't really technically affiliated with us. So unfortunately, you would have to speak with them yourself to see if you can get in touch with them. But if anybody on here is a Silver Sneakers facility and you want to be able to give Lisa the phone number for Silver Sneakers to help out, definitely feel free to go ahead and put in that phone number in the chat if you would like to. All right, going down in here, we have a lot of memberships in my facility, and I don't want to have to scroll through all of these in order to find a particular membership. So if I'm looking for a specific one, I can search in here, and it's only going to pull up those that have that keyword in it. So here I was looking for our month-to-month individual plan. I'm going to go ahead and click on that plan. All right, we notice up at the top of the screen here, you do not have permission to change contract details. A contract can only be created by selecting an existing plan from the list below. Please contact your manager if any customizations need to be made. So as a staff member, you do not have the permissions to make any changes here to this plan. Scrolling down to the bottom, we would need to go ahead and click next. So I do have a question of should the membership always be in the client's name, even if the parent is paying for the membership? I would always recommend, yes, it should be in the child's name, and then you would put the billing information in for the parent. That way they don't have like multiple profiles and such. Now, we do have relationships, and we'll talk about relationships in just a moment, where if you did just want to share a membership between more than one client profile, that is available as well. But it is recommended to go ahead, have this profile under the child's name instead of the parent's name. Clicking next at the bottom. Normally we would have an acceptance screen here. Looks like I didn't have a document in here, but we could always sell another membership in a few moments, and I could show you that acceptance screen. The acceptance screen would be if you had a waiver or a document that you needed them to be able to acknowledge. So I will get to that in just a few moments. Going down here, we have our membership fee. Our subtotal is slightly different for a couple of different reasons. There is proration on this membership. So when they are going to actually purchase this membership, it's going to say from right now, today's the 15th, all the way through to the end of the 30th, they are going to owe a portion of the membership. The portion they owe is this 29.24. I also have taxes on my memberships here through my revenue categories, and so that is also charging taxes here. You have the option of either saying, okay, do you only want to pay for the first prorated portion of the membership, or would you rather pay for the prorated portion plus the entire first month's membership? And that is where we get amount due or client total. I am going to go ahead and pay the amount due of $29.24, which is that prorated portion. Now, for those of you that have credit card processing through either Easy Payments or Global Payments or Authorize.net, here you will see your credit card processed. This is how you would go ahead and accept a credit card directly through the system. If you have an EMV terminal, you'll also have the option in here of credit card EMV terminal. I don't have an EMV terminal, which is why it doesn't show up in my list. For those of you that are not using merchant processing in our system, you may see credit card external, which is a way of marking a payment through the system without actually charging the credit card. I'm going to go ahead and choose cash for our webinar reasons, and we can go ahead and accept the payment. As we can see here on this profile, this person now has a current active membership. At this point in time, they will get everything that comes with that membership. So if you have package plans attached to your memberships, then they would have that and be able to have the access to their classes. If it's just access to the facility, they're now able to use a check-in feature, check-in station. Over on the right-hand side, under the membership number, we do have a membership number that is automatically generated for this client once you sell the membership. Now, for those of you with door access control, your access module over here or access mode over here that says allow entry is whatever your default is set to for access control. Again, these are permissions that are set up on the manager's level. However, you are able to see what level of access they have. All right, so now if we go down here to memberships, we will see what type of membership that they have. We are able to create a document, or if they did acknowledge that document, they would be able to download this document if you had any questions. Maybe they are saying, no, I didn't sign this, and you're saying, yes, you did. You can pull up that document as needed. If we click on our pencil icon here, we don't have the permission to edit this membership, which means we're not going to be able to cancel the membership. We are only able to go ahead and sell them that membership. Or at least this particular role does not have access to cancel this membership. You can change that permission under the roles as a manager if someone does need that access. If we need to share a membership, maybe this is something for more than one person, we could go first to our profile here. Scroll down to the bottom where we get to our relationships. And maybe we have a child that we also need to add to this account. If there is a child that needs to be added, you will want to make their profile first before you come down to this step. So in other words, if we go up here back to clients and we go to add client, and maybe this is Jane is our child here. We will add her in. Now we're going to go ahead and again open up Johnny Cash's profile and scroll down to the bottom to our relationships here. We're going to say the client is the child, so they're our child. We're going to type in their name. Too many letters there. And because she didn't have a email address attached, she doesn't pull up in the list, so we'll just add Jane Smith here and we will click add. We now could go ahead and click save. We now see that Johnny is the child of Jane Smith. We're now able to go ahead and share that membership. So we're going to go to the membership tab, scroll all the way to the right, and we're going to click share. Apparently, this particular one also doesn't have access to share a membership as well. So again, these permissions can be changed. So let's go ahead and change our log out of this profile and we'll log into another one here in order to show you those extra steps where if you give your staff permission to be able to cancel a membership or share a profile, we're going to be able to make that happen. So let me go ahead and get logged in here under another role. I am going to go ahead and log into a manager's role at this point. This way, all of our permissions are ready to go. All right, we'll see we are now logged in as a manager. We're under our Easy How To account. Now, if we go back to our clients here and we open up Johnny again, we could go to our membership and scroll to the right. We could go ahead and share this membership now. We see that Jane Smith is already on here. We're going to choose her name and update. Now we see that this membership is shared with someone, and so therefore it is shared between the two people. Is there any other way to give access to change something on the spot for someone other than going into access and changing? No, unfortunately, you would have to log in with your own credentials in order to give them access. It is not something that can be changed on the spot. Is the sharing only restricted by the user of EZFacility, staff versus manager, or are you able to restrict sharing on certain memberships? So it would only be restricted by staff versus manager. You can, yeah, that's where it's going to be restricted. Now, to kind of get into some of those permissions, if we go to administration, and we go to location settings down at the bottom here, we have users and roles. So if we go into our roles here and we go into our staff under the shield icon, here we're going to start seeing some of those permissions. So if we're talking specifically about memberships, if we scroll down here to where we get to memberships, we have certain memberships here. So as a manager, or excuse me, as a staff member, the user can create and build new membership contracts. As a default, this is the permissions that they're given. If you need to give them more, you can let them edit the contracts if you needed to. You can let them edit who sold the membership. Maybe you're giving them a certain amount of commission for going ahead and selling that membership. User administration would mean that they could actually create memberships. So this member administration might just be something that you would want to give to your managers. Yes, Tara, you can give certain staff certain permissions and not all staff. And I will show you in just a moment where you can customize it for particular staff members. This role that I'm currently in would affect anybody that is currently listed as staff. This one here, the membership contract customization, this one is currently checked on. This one can only be changed on the user level and it cannot be changed on the role level. So it's automatically turned on, but if you needed to turn it off for any reason, you would go ahead and uncheck that box on the role level. Going over to users. We have our shield icons here where if I go ahead and open up Nicole's permissions, here I can say, you know what, under memberships, she can also edit contracts. We also want her to be able to edit some of those fields. We just don't want her to like create those templates herself, but we can give her permissions to do everything else if we wanted to. Now, these permissions are only going to affect Nicole. They are not affecting everybody that's listed under a staff member. So if you see here, we have a little star next to where it says staff. That lets us know that that role has been customized on the user level here. You guys are coming up with some really great questions, and I am very happy to be able to answer all of them here. I love being able to have this dialogue to be able to go back and forth and help you guys understand our software better. All right, going up to our clients again, going into Johnny Cash. We did want to talk about under memberships, what if we need to go ahead and cancel this membership? First thing we're going to do is open the share with clients. We're going to uncheck Jane's name and click update. Now Johnny is no longer sharing this membership. We can go ahead and cancel. We're going to click on the pencil icon to open the edit membership here. I'm going to go ahead and cancel the contract. Anyone who is able to freeze or suspend a contract, those options are there as well. Freezing will pause the billing. It is used in case somebody gets injured or is going on vacation for a long time and they're not able to use their membership and you want to extend their membership contract. That's what a freeze would be for. Adding a suspension would not pause the billing at all. This is used in case somebody broke something in the building or they broke a rule or something along those lines, and you want it to not allow them access to the facility through either door access control or the check-in stations. You can go ahead and suspend their membership for any given period of time. Their contract will still end or renew on this date that is shown up here, no matter how long the suspension is. It is just a way of saying you can't use your membership, but you're still paying for it because you did something that you weren't supposed to. Now I'm going to go ahead and cancel our contract. We have a couple of different options with canceling. The first option would be if somebody came to you and they said, you know what, I just want to cancel this membership at the end of the month. I do not want to auto renew into the next month. You would just come up here where it says auto renew and you would click the disable button. That makes it so that their actual expiration date is February 28th and they are not going to renew into March. Now, the reason this is February 28th is because this membership was prorated, which means that we need to be able to account for that prorated time. The first full month will be February. Your next option is going to be to cancel the membership if you want to say, all right, I want to be able to refund them in full. Maybe they purchased the wrong level of membership. Maybe it's that you sold them the wrong membership. Your cancellation date is going to be the start date up here. So in our case, it's going to be today's date. This is the trigger in the system that is going to go ahead and let the system know to refund or put the money on the person's account here as a credit. And they are going to then be able to use that credit towards another membership or another purchase in the system. If you want to cancel their contract but not refund them, you would need to put another date in here after the 15th, so the 16th, all the way through to the 28th. Whatever day that you put in here is going to be the actual cancellation date. It is not going to give them a partial refund. It is going to go ahead and just mark them as canceled or expired at that point in time. All right, we have a question. Has there been an update yet on being able to change monthly payment without having to go into every month and change it manually? So Lisa, if you are referring to like each person or everyone is paying a different cost monthly, then no, you would have to do that manually. If you're referring to it being able to auto renew each month at whatever cost that you're putting into the software, that is done through when you actually create the membership and you would go ahead and auto renew it. All right, so we're going to go ahead. And Lisa, if that doesn't answer your question, I would definitely encourage that you reach out to our support at EZFacility.com email address, and they would be able to assist you better with your answer in your particular situation. Go ahead and say other modification here, and we can go ahead and cancel. Going up to the top, if we refresh the page, it does take a moment for the membership up here to refresh and say that they don't have a current active membership. And that is just because we're canceling it on the same day that we sold it. So it does take a few minutes. But if we look here, it says the start date is the 15th. The expiration date is also the 15th. It's not auto renewing, 0 billed, 0 paid. So this will catch up. Now, if you needed to immediately go ahead and sell them a new contract, you would go down here to memberships and you will click new contract. You would then go ahead and go through to sell that next membership in here that you needed to. So if they maybe it was this month to month that includes private lessons, maybe we need to build them for that one. We also don't have a document on this one. Let me go ahead and put a document on one of these so that I can show you what this one will look like. So for my managers who are allowed to create templates, they would go ahead to memberships and plans. Let's do our membership here. And we have our waiver of liability. Perfect. So we've gone ahead and added that waiver in. Let's go ahead and sell Johnny that new membership under membership, new contract. We're going to the one that includes private lessons. We'll click next at the bottom here. Now, as a manager, we'll see up at the top that we don't have that banner that comes across and lets us know that we can't edit this. So if you have manager's permissions or you have permissions to be able to go ahead and edit any of these details, if you needed to add in a discount, you would click edit billing. You might use a coupon code. You might apply an actual discount in here. Maybe taxes don't apply to this and the revenue category was set up incorrectly. We can go ahead and click save and we can click next. We now have our acceptance screen. Now this will be available to all staff members to be able to have these different ways of acknowledging our waiver. The first one is paper copy. If we click on paper copy, it's going to go ahead and download a copy of that waiver. You then can print it out. They can manually sign that document. You can scan it in via your printer, and there's a drop box here for you to put it in. If we go up to Edit, we have Digital Copy here. Digital copy will show it on the screen. Maybe you have a copy of this printed out and laminated that you hand to your clients when you want them to be able to read through it. They go ahead and read through it. They verbally say whatever sentence is down here at the bottom. The optional cosigner is here for a parent or guardian's name. So somebody is signing on behalf of Johnny, you would type in their name here. If we click Edit again, next one down is Digital Signature. If there is a digital signature pad, maybe like a doctor's office has, that you want to be able to sign, you would click in here. They would go ahead and sign on that digital signature pad, and you would add in that signature and click Next. The third and final feature is going to be email document. As long as the client has a valid email address on file, you could go ahead and email that document to them. Once they receive that document, they would be able to acknowledge that document on whatever device they are currently using. So let's see if I go ahead and we'll click next here. And you saw the bar pop up. It says I'm going to go ahead and send that document off to that person. Let's see if we've got it through. Not quite yet. So now we're again on our payment screen. Now for this payment screen, we are still have taxes, but this is not a prorated membership. So for this one, we are only going to pay the $100. Our fee is going to be owed on the 15th of every single month after that. So we don't have to worry about uh, it prorating onto the first of every month. It is only going to charge us on the 15th of every month. We'll go through amount due. Now we can use the partial money on account if we wanted to. Let's go through the example of we do want to use it. We can choose money on account, then it's going to go ahead and have a balance on that account where you will have to make a second payment on that. So if we go ahead and click pay, and we go ahead and refresh here, we see that they have a balance of $77.39. We can go ahead and click make payment in order to accept the remaining balance of the $77.39. We're going to click take payment. It's going to ask us where it is that we want to apply it. We're going to apply it to our membership here. All right. Perfect. Now, while we were discussing that, we did get our email here. Let me pop this out. This is what your clients would see if you go ahead and send them the email to sign or acknowledge that document. They could go ahead and click review and sign. It pulls open a new tab here where they can go ahead and type in their name. If there is a cosigner or a parent or guardian that needs to sign on their behalf, they would type in their name as well, and we would go ahead and click accept. It says your document was successfully submitted, and if we close out of this, and we'll close out of our email here, if we go here to Documents tab, we see our waiver of liability, we see that it was emailed, and we could see that it was already signed. So it's that fast, it automatically goes ahead and puts it in here. If we go under our membership tab and scroll over to the right, we could view that document. It'll download a copy of it here. And here we can see the signatures that were put in. We can see what IP address they used to sign it, the date that it was signed and time, and who it was that generated that document and sent it to them. All right. So that is going to be how to sell a membership here that has a document that needs to be acknowledged. We have talked about how to share a client's profile. We've talked about some of the permission levels. Let's also talk about the check-in stations a little bit. So if we go to the check-in station, we have staff check-in. Staff check-in is where you have a staff member sitting at a computer, sitting at a desk, whatever it may be, and you need your clients, to be able to check in. Now, this staff member can either A, type in the client's name, B, type in their member ID number, or C, if you are going to have a scanner at your desk and be able to scan the barcode on either a key tag or through our mobile app, all of those options are great for the check-in station. Uh, so one of the questions that popped up here in regards to that document, is there a way to know whether a document has not been signed? Does it notify you when they check in? So sort of a two-part question here. So under the documents, if it wasn't signed, if it was just emailed, over here where it says signed, it's not going to say signed. It would say sent or delivered, but it's not actually going to acknowledge that it was signed. Now on the check-in station, it is going to show you waiver signed or unsigned. But what that connects to is this box here. Now, this box is only currently linked to our module called Groups. You can manually check this box on when somebody signs a waiver in memberships, but this will only automatically turn on if someone signs a waiver through Groups. So let me go ahead back into our check-in station here. We're going to go ahead and type in Johnny's name, and we're going to click check-in. Here we see his membership is active. We are able to see what type of membership he has. We see the start and end date. We see, oh, there's a relationship here to Jane Smith. So Jane Smith is his parent. We see waiver not signed because we didn't manually check that box on. And then down below, we have balance due is 0, meaning they don't have any outstanding balance. Going down, max visits is unlimited, meaning we didn't limit how many of the visits they are able to attend as far as the check-in station is concerned. So if under the membership you said they can only go ahead and check in maybe 20 times in the month, it'll give you that max visits and used visits here. Down below in orange, we are going to see any of the package plans that this person currently has. And then we can also see that there is a private lesson that is coming up within the next 3 hours or 4 hours that they're able to go ahead and check into. If they have an active membership, you're able to go ahead and check them into that class right there here on the screen. If they don't have a package plan with any available sessions, then we are going to have to sell them a package plan, and we'll get into that on our next call. All right, let me pause here for a moment, see if we have any questions to cover. When using the check-in feature, will the member automatically be checked into the class he is signed up for? For example, their membership includes a specific class. Will it check that member into that class? So the answer is, if they have booked into that class on the calendar, it will take attendance for them. However, just by having, in this case, personal training with Greg, if there is a personal training with Greg uh, session on the calendar, it's not going to automatically check them into it when they use a check-in station. Your staff member can say, like if this said personal training with Greg instead of, private lesson, your staff member could say, "Hey, I noticed you have a package plan attached to your membership. Would you like me to go ahead and book you into that class?" They could go ahead and click select, and now you'll see the attendance has already been marked. So we get into memberships, excuse me, package plans a little bit more in our package webinar, which will be next month, which is going to be February. Let me get that date for you. It's going to be February 12th. We will have another webinar and we're going to talk specifically about packages, again, from the staff member's point of view. How far back on the calendar can you see old booked things? That runs into packages a little bit more. If you're asking on the client side, as far as them scheduled to see how far back you can see to schedule. Did they schedule? I'm not sure that there's actually a limit. I haven't seen anybody kind of run this report further back, but I'm sure you could test it out and run this report. If you are talking on the actual schedule itself, there is a date in here. So if you click in the upper right left-hand side, that drop down, it does go back to 2015. And that's as far back as our software is allowed to go on the calendar. Are there any other membership questions, or does anybody have anything that their staff in particular does in regards to memberships that we have not covered? I do know we also didn't talk about the time clock. We could kind of talk about that a little bit. For any of your staff members that need to use the time clock, they will need to have an EZFacility login information. So if we say Smith 01, and she is going to go ahead and sign in. Perfect. So we have our time clock here. Now they can go ahead and select their job type. She's listed just as a coach. We can go ahead and click clock in. She has now punched in at 12:47 today, and she is not currently punched out because obviously we just, maybe she just started her day here. Now she has no other further access because she is listed as a staff member, so she has no access to be able to change anyone's punches. If you have a manager that needs to be able to change someone's punches, then we could walk through an example where you could go ahead and choose the employee's name. You can click the pencil to be able to edit their punch. You would be able to add in a time clock entry if you needed to. Okay, so the question is, we sell a paid in full membership and we charge a service fee every July to every member. How do we add the service fee directly to the paid in full invoice instead of creating a separate invoice? So if we go to our clients' profiles here, we'll open up Johnny Cash, we'll open up billing, we can go to invoices, we can go to all invoices here. If we click the pencil icon on the one for the membership here, we can add generic item. Now you will have to have this item already created, which I kind of assume that you do if this is a process that you normally do. We have predefined items here. We would go ahead and say, we'll select the one for $50. We can click finish. We now see that it is on that invoice. And if we refresh, we see the amount due because we have taxes on here, so that's why it's showing 53.31. So that's including the taxes here. They now have to pay that, and it is still showing up on the same invoice as the one used to purchase this membership. Now, the people with permission to be able to edit this and be able to do this section is going to be a manager role unless you make changes and customize those roles. Alrighty, we have about 10 minutes left here in the call. Does anyone else have any questions in regards to memberships themselves? All right. Can you pay employees through EZFacility? We have reports that you can run to see how much you're supposed to pay your employees, but as far as to my knowledge, you cannot pay your employees directly through EZFacility. All right. EZFacility Gym Club users. What type of check-in system do you all use? Our facility has not opened up yet, and we are debating between a laptop or iPad for check-in. What is everyone using? Suggestions. So we also do have this staff, or excuse me, this self check-in station. I did not demo this yet. So the self check-in station would allow you to have an iPad and allow your clients to be able to go ahead and um, check themselves in. So if, for instance, we go ahead and we type in Johnny Cash's name, oh, Johnny Cash, it's supposed to pull up. Looks like we need to go ahead and log in. Amy, I do see that you are raising your hand. There is not a feature for me to be able to allow you to speak. So if you have any questions, please do put them in our Q&A or put them in the chat itself. All right, let me try that check-in feature again. Let me see if I can change the station here. Um, let me All right, let's try again. Johnny. Johnny Cash pulls up his name. He clicks submit. He was checked out because I have checkout features also turned on to mine, but he's ready to go. So he can just check in again. It does say balance overdue because he owes that 53.31. Whereas once he pays that outstanding balance, he'll just get a question mark or a check mark there letting him know he can proceed to his class. As easy as that, it'll go ahead and reset. The next person could come on. So in regards to documents, is there a notification when somebody completes their paperwork, or is the only way to know they completed it by looking under the membership as you showed earlier? So Lisa, kind of double-sided there. If you have most of your clients filling out a profile or making a profile on self-service and on the client side of things, you could choose to get a notification when a new client registers. As far as will you get a notification if you email them the document? No, you will not. The only way to tell would be to look under documents to see that they have actually signed it. That is great feedback, though. We will submit that off to our development team to have a way to automatically know, either get sent a notification that somebody has signed the document if it's emailed to them, or if you go ahead and have it mark that waiver box for you so that the next time they use a check-in station, they'll be able to go ahead and um, see that the waiver has been signed. So great feedback. If a whole team is renting a space, do all the members of the team need to be clients individually, or is there a way for all to sign the waiver? The best way to be able to have everyone sign the waiver might actually be through groups and online registrations. That way, you can have them acknowledge that waiver directly through that one single link. You just send it to them, they go ahead and acknowledge it. It is going to create them as a client profile in EZFacility for you, but then at least that way you don't have to go in and create every single profile. So groups would be your best bet. If you have any questions on how to do that, you can go up here to our question mark. If you're using the new experience, you can click on the new experience here. And then we have groups and OLR in an easy facility experience. You can see all these guides that'll walk you through how to use groups. So this is a great place, a great resource for anyone that needs quick help guides. This knowledge base is where you're going to find those quick help guides, no matter which version of the software that you're using. The other thing to let you know here is down on the bottom right hand side, we have the give feedback button. If anybody has any feedback that you'd like to submit, whether it be a bug, whether it be just general feedback, you can go ahead and submit that through here. All right, when we increase the membership price, do we override the price on the plan or create a new plan? If we override, when we pull historical data, will the report show the old membership amount? So it sort of depends upon how your memberships themselves are set up. If you are grandfathering in everyone to the old price, then they'll continue at the same price as when they started. If you have it set up to where they will have to pay the new cost of the membership, then it'll go ahead and give them that new price. It is going to show you the amount that they paid for that membership for when you pull the report. So if you pulled, example, the report for 2024 and your fees were one cost, and then you pull the report for 2025, it's going to show the fees as the other cost. I hope that answers your question. If you'd like to know how do you check to see which way your memberships were set up, we again could go through that via the um, knowledge base, and it'll show you how you can choose which way your memberships are set up. Does it notify clients that fees are going up? No, it will not automatically notify clients of an increase in fee. You would have to email your clients and let them know. We have just a couple of minutes left here. I do also want to put this account manager slide back up. There is a change. Our team has restructured a little bit in the UK. Instead, if you have any questions for an account manager, you're going to reach out to Sean here at s.dollery@ezfacility.co.uk. So anyone in the UK, you can contact him. Our account management team in the US is still the same. You'll reach out to am@ezfacility.com. I do want to say thank you to everyone who joined today. It's been great being able to answer all of your questions. I love being able to converse back and forth with everyone. Uh, if you have any additional questions or if something wasn't answered to your satisfaction here in the webinar, please do reach out to any of our teams. We'll be happy to help you get up and running.